Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Game Ecologist. I'm John. We have Kyle, Matt, and Ed. Make a sound to prove people you're here.
Hello.
It's good. Matt, you didn't fucking do anything.
He
I was
never
caught off
does.
guard.
Okay, okay.
Hello, everybody.
That's enough. That's enough. Anyway,
No.
so today we have kind of a doozy of a topic to talk about because Sony has announced that the PS6, when it comes out, will not only not have a disk drive, but I think, I should be more prepared. Within the next year or two, they're going to stop printing.
2028.
2028, that's what it was. They're going to
Yep.
stop printing physical games altogether or really slow down on it
No, altogether. They will halt
altogether.
all production of physical media.
I think
That
they've
means not
slowed
just the
down now.
games. That also means that, like, say they have any special editions, they're not doing that either.
Well, a lot of those special editions don't come with the physical games anyway,
True.
Yeah, I know.
which is the most insane thing. That should be in big ass letters, and it's
Yeah,
not.
for
Quick, quick question. When you say all of physical media, does this translate to their movie productions as well?
I don't think
No,
so.
that's something separate from their gaming. This is solely on games.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the game ecologists, not the movie colleges, not the
No shit, Sherlock.
not the movie buff weirdos or whatever the fuck.
They are. They're on a
yeah, fucking
hiatus.
nerds.
Bunch of dorks.
Yeah.
It's us.
But yeah, and it's literally January 2028. So at the stroke of midnight, that's the end of physical games on PlayStation.
Yeah, Nintendo's gonna keep going, and Xbox is that's a whole other, like, I'll put a pin in that because that's a whole other episode, whole other
Yeah,
fuck.
for
There's
real.
so much going on.
They're on a whole rebuild right now with their new CEO, so it is a whole new episode.
I hope they bring it back.
We could
Do
do a couple
they?
hours on that one for
Yeah,
sure.
because
Yeah.
PlayStation is the one making the news and
They're
upsetting
on
people.
they're on
Which
trial here.
didn't they just release like a new Call of Duty digitally the other day? I saw a video.
I do not know.
They like re-released Black Ops 1 and 2,
Yeah.
Because I
but they're
saw
not remasters, they're just ports of the original, so the game is the same.
I saw a
Yeah.
video that 8-Bit Eric put out yesterday. I believe it was yesterday as of this recording. And basically he was responding to everybody's backlash about Sony uh saying they're going to stop doing physical games. Now people all want their physical games. And then they released those Call of Duty things and they sold like gangbusters. And he's like,
Yeah.
so Sony is not listening to what you say. They're listening to what you do, is the theme of the
Exactly.
video. And he's like, and you just spent so much money on digital games after saying we don't want digital games.
Yeah. 40
So
buck 40 bucks for both of them, or 20
It,
each. You can actually buy them
yeah,
separately.
yeah,
Okay.
well, it's cheaper right now on PlayStation. If you have PlayStation Plus, they give you like a
Yeah.
50% off discount or something. So
Yeah.
you can get both games for
For the price of one.
and all the DLCs for 60. Because
Okay.
the
Nice.
game's
So,
for 20, the DLC is like 9, I think.
so John,
So
hmm,
uh, as you were saying with 8-Bit Eric, he stated that people are not listening to what you say, but what you do.
Sony.
Now, yeah,
You say yeah,
Sony.
Sony's not. Yeah.
Yeah, Sony's not paying attention to what people say of what they do, like purchasing Call of Duty digitally and things like that. Yeah, I remember you were telling me that you watched this other video about this fella who was talking about like how bad this is and everything else, and you kind of started to realize a lot of the content creators you watch are talking about new things and what's hot.
Oh,
It-
I know what you're asking. I had brought it up in
yeah,
an earlier conversation with just me and Matt how I watch a lot of YouTube creators. I don't watch TV. I'll watch movies and I'll watch YouTube, and I watch a lot of content creators who talk about the same shit we're talking about. And a pattern I noticed with some, not all of them, but with a lot of them, is they don't like this. I don't like it either. I like physical games. You can't see it, but I have a bunch of shit behind me. But their content is made up of like what is like the brand new hottest shit, and should you get it and should you not get it, and a lot of it is digital games. So it's like you don't want physical games to go away for a lot of the, like, those physical games that these guys on YouTube are swearing up and down that they want to preserve. They're not playing them anyway.
yeah.
So it's like, do you want to say physical games because that's the cool hot shit to do right now, or do you actually like do you want physical games for a specific reason? I think there's having physical games nowadays does not have the same meaning as it did a few generations ago. Let's say before the PS3, everything before the PS3. Well, there weren't really digital games back then anyway. But
I think where digital games kind of started to make headway was on PS3.
well, when were each of you guys first introduced to the concept of downloading digital games, like a full game that you just download? And
It was PS3 for me.
how did you feel about it then versus how you feel about it now? Because I know my opinion is very different. When I first the first one I remember being like, what the fuck was Arkham City? And I think
Yeah.
it was full price too to buy it
Yeah.
digitally. And I was just thinking, saw that and I was like, what fucking idiot
You were
would
that.
spend $60? No, I didn't. I had it back then when I had it physically. Nowadays, yes, I bought Resident Evil 9 at full price digitally. So
That's
I'm
some
not,
shit.
like I am that
All
kind
right.
of idiot, but it took time.
So for me, when I was first like introduced to like the concept of like digital games and actually purchasing them, I thought it was kind of cool. Like on the PS3
Sure.
and the Xbox 360, because I was like, oh, I don't have to, like if I missed a midnight release or something like that, I always could go. I could stay at home and just buy the game. I didn't have to go to the store or anything like that. But also back then, my physical collection dominated over my quote unquote digital collection for video games. Because I think myself and mostly everyone else was still dealing in physical game. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I didn't think it would get to where it is today. And I'm like, oh, this is like a cool little convenience.
I had a lot when I lived like right next door to that GameStop that Ed worked at. But now living out in the middle of nowhere, it's at least a 30-plus minute drive to get to the closest place where you can buy physical video games. And
Mm-hmm.
so because of that, in the last 6 years, I've been in a GameStop twice at all.
Hmm.
And the one I went into is shut down. I don't know where one is now. I have no idea.
I don't there's probably a GameStop in Charlotte, or Raleigh, but that's 2 4 hours away.
Yeah, there was one in Washington, which is about 40 minutes. That was the
Yeah.
one that, but it's dead now.
You're dead now.
Fuck.
Oh no. But yeah, for us, like we gotta drive 30 minutes to Williamston for
Yeah, why don't you draw off? Why don't we put a map up on the screen of where we fucking live, man?
Yeah, bro, like, relax.
30 minutes from here, 40 minutes from there.
Couple
Making
hours
it
from
easy.
here.
Here's a picture of the stars at 12
If
p.m.
you've gone
Like,
there this far, you've gone too far. So
I know you think
look.
that's the big. That's I said the big stump. There's a bigger one coming. Yeah, there are certain ones. Like I know that Star Fox came out. I know Ed's been playing it. I played a little bit of we game shared it, whatever the terminology Nintendo
Yeah.
uses is. So that was pretty cool. I want that, but honestly, I want that physically. There's like also I really want to play Silent Hill F, but I have Silent Hill 2 physically, and I want to even if it was like on sale digital. That's for I don't know what it is, but there are some things that I want it physically, even if it's inconvenient. And I know the new Silent Hill and Star Fox are two examples. I don't know why, but I want
probably
them. I
because
want them on my
those
shelf.
titles mean because probably those titles mean something to you.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I have recently, granted, I got it off the PlayStation Network for free because they just have it up there. Is Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I would have never played it, or I would have never gone to buy it if it wasn't up on PlayStation Store. So I just downloaded it. That was part of the digital library.
random tangent. The Black Flag remake looks sick as hell.
Yeah,
It's already out. It's already out. I want that.
And
One of
then
my friends has it. It's
for
probably
part
right now.
and part of the monthly releases that PlayStation does, they put up Call of Duty 3. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna add that to my library.
No, they put Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
The
If they
newer
put
one.
Call of Duty
The new
3, like
Yeah,
if they
that's what I'm
put, I'd
saying,
play
bro.
that.
Like,
I'd beat that
yeah.
campaign. That'd be cool.
Okay. But
That's what I'm saying, because there is a Call of Duty 3.
yeah, so they put that one up. And you know what? I would have never fancied the idea of getting that game or going on my way to get it. But it was right there digitally. I'm like,
Sure.
and it's free. Fuck it. I'll eventually play it.
the other night. I've been waiting on the. I've mentioned it before on this podcast, but I want the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver collection. I
I
really,
have I have
I
it.
I really wanted that physically, but I saw the other day on the Switch it was finally on sale for like $14, so I got it. But I really wanted that on the shelf because I have the original Soul Reaver physically for PS1. I thought it'd be cool to have both of them, but I caved. I was like, they attacked
Yeah.
me with convenience.
Sometimes when they do like their spring sales or their editor's choice and stuff, you'll find some gems on there
Yeah,
for like $10 when typically it's like, or even $20 typically when those games are 80 to $100 and they discount them at like 70% or something crazy like that.
So I didn't
I
have
just
a
got
whole
it.
lot of digital games. I kind of did. Most of my library was physical, and I would trade them into GameStop and get newer shit or whatever I wanted to play, which I kind of regret doing now. But
Same.
I don't have a 360 anyway. But I remember I downloaded Combat Evolved when I was not at home, so I had that anywhere I was, and I didn't have to like carry the game with me because it's original Xbox only anyway. I mainly used like the digital storefront to like get DLCs, and I would just have the physical copies of the games because they didn't they use well they did for a while, but they don't like release the DLCs with their like own discs. Some games did, some games didn't.
No, but for me, my introduction to digital was also in the 360 and the PS3 area. That was like what Gen 4. That's like Gen 4, Gen 5.
Oh, I
I
Um,
think
don't know.
it's
Yeah.
it
Gen
it was
3.
always an afterthought for me. I've always been a physical media guy on everything, not just games, books, comics, movies. So I always prefer that to digital. I see the appeal. I can understand why some people in certain areas would prefer it. I do own more digital games now than I do physical, but that's only because PlayStation Plus, Game Pass, Nintendo has indie games for $1. So, when I'm bored and I want to try something, I do end up buying a lot more digital games. But at the end of the day, I would prefer physical, even though it's gonna turn into probably one of the most expensive things now, especially because you know how Matt is a retro collector. That's probably what's gonna happen with the games nowadays. But yeah, for me, yeah, the introduction to digital was Gen 5, but it was always an afterthought. I never really cared for it. I still don't really care for it because every digital game I have, I've played maybe 1% of them. Like I've turned them on, I played them for like 30 seconds. If I don't like it, I turn it off. Even now, I get, how we get every 2 free games every time on PlayStation Plus. I download them, but I hardly ever touch them.
I
They're
get
like
3.
sitting there. You get 3? I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
2. Oh,
PS5
you
gets
get
I think
3.
it's like 4 or 5 now, but
no, you get two. You get a certain amount depending on which tier you have. If you
I
have
have
the
the
highest
essential
tier,
and I have 3.
oh, okay, well,
I
good
have
for
the
you then, I guess.
lowest tier possible, and it's 3 games.
Regardless, every digital game
Well,
I own is probably just sitting there. Yeah, it's not
I
even installed on my PlayStation.
Yeah,
wait,
that's
are
fair. Me
y'all
too.
talking about the PlayStation Plus?
Yeah.
All right,
Hmm.
so what I've noticed is, well, they said they're going to reduce the amount games that they're going to give to PlayStation 4 players. So me, I've seen like the last couple months, I only got like one game instead of two, and then all of a
Damn.
sudden this month there's three that were available.
Oh, okay. I think every now and then they'll do a bonus one or one that didn't do so well, so they just add it to the PlayStation Plus.
Dragon Age
Right.
Railguard.
Yeah.
That got out there
Hey,
quick.
hey, Marvel Heroes. That got a
Yeah,
PlayStation Plus quick.
yeah.
But yeah,
Some
that's
of
that's my
those.
that's my take on digital. Like I get it. I can understand it. I don't care. I still prefer physical. The last AAA game that I bought that was digital was Pragmata, and that's only because it was on PC. And you can't get physical games on PC anymore. It's wild. You used to get a box with a disc or at least 2 discs, install it, but nobody has a disc drive anymore. I mean, I
Yeah,
do. I still have a disc
but
drive on my PC.
Steam has kind of dominated.
Yeah. It's so old. But yeah, Steam is kind of the reason I think digital games are more popular now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. And a lot of the time, like I'll see memes, PlayStation's fucking up by doing this, and other consoles are fucking up by doing that, and Nintendo raised
Steam,
their prices of everything, and Steam wins by doing nothing.
exactly. They're
Yeah.
just sitting in the
You
corner
know?
doing everything that everybody's mad about right now. Steam
Yeah.
has been doing from the very beginning.
Well, except for the new that Steam Deck thing they
The
call
Steam
it. Yeah,
machine,
yeah, that one. That one, they're fucking up with that.
That's just a
Yeah.
big
computer.
time,
Oh yeah.
Exactly. And like
big
at that point,
time.
just buy a computer, bro. And they're like making it so you don't have to use the Steam OS. You can do like the Windows OS instead.
You can do multiple boot ups, Linux, OS.
Yeah, but you can only do one at a time. You can't
Yeah.
do like all of them at the same time, you know?
Well, if they let you partition the drive, you should be able to. If they let
Yeah,
you partition the drive.
exactly. But yeah, so it's like they're fucking up by that doing that. It's like people I would like my laptop costs as much as a Steam machine.
That's
And
true.
that's
Yeah.
what that's the lowest storage size and no controller.
Mhm.
So like but that's and I think even that's still more than that. But my laptop I'm currently using was like $1,100
Mm,
and I didn't even pay for it. But like
nice.
yeah, they're fucking up now, but like Steam was ahead for so fucking long that
They
they
finally
can't
tripped.
lose.
They
Yeah.
finally tripped. It's like when Nintendo thought they could sell cardboard to people.
Hey, make your own shit. I don't wanna.
What do you mean thought? They did.
Yeah, they did.
Nintendo didn't think a damn thing. They just acted.
They just acted.
I bet it was like really good cardboard. I never had Labo.
I didn't either.
I
It
actually
looks
found one.
sturdy.
I
It
actually
looks
found one at a
sturdy.
Goodwill for like $5, and I
Nice.
bought it, but it was missing like 90% of the content, and it just had the little goggle thing. And I remember using it with the Switch, and it couldn't stay on my face. It kept falling off, and I'm like, forget this.
Oh, well, you have the OLED though. I don't think it was made for that.
Oh, really?
I
Oh, I
think it
thought it
well,
was like multi-cross general.
I know it came out before the OLED, but
It
I
definitely
don't.
came out before the
Yeah,
OLED,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's good to know, I guess. It doesn't
so
matter. I still threw it away.
yeah. So why do we think Sony is going digital, and what will that mean for the future of gaming? My opinion is very pessimistic. I think they want to have a monopolistic control over the sales. They don't have like, oh,
Yeah.
Walmart's doing a clearance, so we could get rid of it. Black Friday, video game wise, is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably still have a bunch of stuff on sale, and it might not be that bad, but it will be different because
Yeah,
it's
Well,
absolutely. It's
just
gonna be
Sony.
Cyber Monday and shit.
okay. So as I was telling you, because you mentioned this before and we had a conversation for ourselves, but like I told you before, like when you go to Walmart and Walmart's cutting a deal for a product, they have permission to discount a product for so much if it comes from a vendor. The representative from whatever company comes in and they look at the pricing and they're like, all right, this is how much you can discount on this product. So I get what you're saying with the monopolization, but maybe with Sony, instead of just like monopolizing, they're probably trying to control more so of direct to consumer instead of having to pay out so much because they have to pay for their products to be in stores.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's what
that's true.
they're probably trying to cut out the middleman. That's what I'm trying to say. They're probably trying to cut out the middleman, and by doing that, like you said, they can have better control of the prices of what they're doing. But maybe they see this as Xbox is like a different topic, but isn't Xbox also kind of strongly digital at this point?
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
still sell physical.
Yes, they still sell physical, but they're strongly digital. And we have like we were talking about Steam. They're up
Yeah.
there. And pretty much everything that you do on PC is digital. So maybe Sony is looking at that and saying, hey, there's a market for this. So
Mhm.
let's try to tap into that market ahead of time.
Yeah.
if
And
you
Because maybe maybe physical is dying and Sony kind of sees the writing on the wall. But the way things have been going for the gaming industry as a whole, I am pessimistic about the future for gaming. Like John said, Black Friday is going to be
But
very different for gaming. I think, and also with like the end user license agreement, because the company at any point in time can pull that game and you no longer can use it, even though you buy it. You're renting it. You're just renting the license to use it. So let's say like they're like, oh, let's say their digital store or whatever gets so full, they're like, hey, we got to cut some games out. We can't support all this information. So you as the user, you're going to lose out on half of your collection.
So I think a simpler way of putting it, like I work in a retail store. I'm not going to tell you which one, you
I could
fuckers.
tell him.
So I
I'll
work in a
tell him. I'll
retail.
tell him right now.
He works
work-
at Piggly Wiggly.
I don't. I've helped work on the merchandising in the store, and I know Ed has experience doing this too at different jobs he's had. But so if you go into a grocery store and there's like an end cap or a wing display of like, let's say Little Debbie's,
Yeah.
Little Debbie's is essentially paying rent to have their
Yeah.
stuff in that spot displayed a certain way, which comes down on us, the employees, that like we have to do it because they're paying for it. So now we have to set up this display. And Sony is, I think, saying they don't want to pay that rent anymore. And I don't know, I can't speak for every Walmart because I'm only one human being. But when I go into Walmart, the video game selection is smaller and smaller. Like every time I go in, there's less and less and less. Not only just stuff on the shelves, but space to put stuff. Like Sony is really not, and that's not just Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, and I remember it used to be walls. Like it was like almost not floor to ceiling, but taller than maybe 7, 8 feet tall walls, and you'd look and there'd be all the game cases. Now it's like the bookshelf on my desk. Like it's
not a lot.
I think Walmart's like a bad example, but they're also probably the best because they're nationwide minimally.
Really?
But
God damn it.
but God damn. But
I had to do it.
But my point is that when you go to the electronics section of Walmart, it's not very appealing. Like it's not just the video games that are affected, but how many options do they have for laptops? Not many.
Vinyl records are making a comeback, and they have little record players too. That's weird.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It
It's
is
cool.
weird.
It's
that
cool.
part is weird. But like the selection, the overall selection for the electronics department in Walmart, and I've seen this in several Walmarts. It's not that good. If I'm being honest, it's not that good. The variety is just not there. I don't know why. I mean, it's better.
Couldn't tell you.
Sometimes it's to me, it's better to go to Walmart because
I can actually answer that.
they have better prices than going to fucking Best Buy.
That's true.
Best Buy has a whole lot more variety. You go into a Best Buy, you're going to see a shit ton of games. You're going to see a shit ton of TVs, computers, phone chargers, random cables that you didn't know that existed. They're going to have like 20 of these fucking things.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Ed.
So basically the reason why that is, and it has to do with digital. So besides the fact that more people are buying digital, more people are also buying physical items online. Walmart now has same day delivery. So if you buy something on their website, it can be delivered that same day. You don't have to wait 24 hours. Same thing with new releases. The day they release, it will arrive. Sometimes it even arrives early. For every 10 people that buy on Walmart, 9 of them are buying it online, having it shipped to their house. That's why those end caps are getting smaller. That's why they don't have as many copies, because they don't move them physically that way anymore. They move them physically, but through mailing services. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon sells
Amazon's
more.
fault.
It is Amazon's fault, but it's also just convenience's fault. Like DoorDash, you can actually get DoorDash to buy you stuff at stores now. It's not just groceries, it's not
That's
just food.
true.
If you want to buy a game, you can't get it online. Guess what? You can DoorDash it, pay a fee, have someone bring it to you literally within 20 minutes. So convenience is part of the reason why those end caps, why those displays have bare bones now. They have one copy of the game, maybe. The rest are probably sitting in a shelf or in a storage box in the back because they don't need to move them that way anymore. People would rather click a button, wait an hour, receive the item, and get it that way, even if it is physical, than have to go to the store, go get it, wait in line, all that other stuff. It's about convenience now, not so much about
Yeah,
digital.
Yeah, but that
which kind of
convenience is
sucks.
like a
But
10% markup. You're paying
And
for
they're
that.
willing to pay it. That's the crazy part. That's
the
the
same thing
crazy
happens
part.
when you go to like a convenience store to gas station. They are marking
Exactly.
everything up because they don't make any money
Exactly.
off the gas. They make
Nope.
money off of the things they sell in the store.
Right.
Exactly. It's
So
one of those
it's the
things that
same thing.
and Sony has proved that people will pay an additional amount for something they really, really want, even if it's cheaper to get it a certain way. Look at GTA 6. $100 for the game, and you got to pay extra on top of that. People still order it. People still pre-ordered it. That
Yeah,
game,
they
everybody.
made their money back already.
I thought everybody was like, "Oh, we're not gonna buy it. Nobody's gonna buy a digital, an empty copy of a game." Guess what? They did. Look at
Yeah,
the Steam machine. Look at the Steam machine.
for real.
Like we just said, piece of crap item. Everybody we know probably has something better and cheaper. Sold out.
Yep,
It's not
everybody
so
wants
much
it.
about everybody wants to complain, but nobody really does anything to change it. They
That's
will
Yeah,
bitch and
true.
moan, and they'll still go out and buy the damn thing.
I have an issue with the online thing. Like, okay, this is, I know the topic is Sony, but this is Nintendo and not Sony. So with the Switch, and I'm talking about the original Switch, I'm sure the Switch 2 does this too, or something similar. If you get a bootleg physical Switch cartridge and you put it into your system and sign into your account is banned.
yep,
All your games, everything gone. So if I buy a physical game for a Switch, which I want, again, can't see it on the camera because it's all audio, but all this section is all Switch physical. I love them, but I would buy them new. I didn't really want to get anything through the mail because I either buy it new at Walmart or even like I would worry about GameStop because I know how they were with the retro stuff and a lot of bootleg shit getting through there. But
mhm,
I mean, I'll look at it real carefully, lick it, make sure it tastes like shit because they all taste like shit.
yep.
And
Yeah, they do.
and
That's the point.
I love how that's a test that you could
I
do.
know
Like,
it's so
well,
good.
it looks fake, but it tastes like shit, so it must be real. But so even in that situation, like I know there isn't much that they'd be able to do about it at GameStop, but I could go in and throw the game across the counter, be like, you sold me bullshit and bricked my account. What the fuck, bro? But you can't. There's no one. Amazon is not a real guy. You can go up to
No way.
you can go up to.
You
There's
could go
no
up to Jeffrey
Amazon.
Bezos and slap him around a little bit.
There you go.
Bold of you is
Good
to
luck.
assume you could just walk up to the guy.
Yeah, for real. I would love to see you try that.
I actually
bro.
would. I would pay to see that. I would pay.
Yeah,
To see
for
That'd be
real.
fucking great.
But going back to the question at hand, John, my thought process in regards to why Sony wants to go digital, it's kind of like what you guys all said. It's about greed. It's about wanting to cut out the middleman. But on top of that, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because just how Steam is capable of selling games, even AAA titles, at a ridiculous discount a week after the release. I
Yeah.
think Sony, and this is just my process. I don't know if that's really what they're thinking. I think Sony feels that maybe if they go to an all digital market, it will give them that leeway to maybe either drop their prices on games, drop the prices on their subscription service,
Yeah.
or even sell the game at a lesser price earlier down the line than much later. Because as we see now, Sony won't sell a game until about a year that it's been released, unless the game
Mm.
really sucks. They won't drop the price more than 10% on a game until about a year after it's been released, especially digitally.
Oh, I remember
So,
in the PS3 days, a game this would just be GameStop pricing, but
yeah.
if a game on PS3, I remember Uncharted 3 specifically, and there were Dead Space 3 did this too, but the game comes out and within 6 months it's like $30 instead of 60, and that usually I liked Uncharted 3, but that usually
Sure.
means the game sucked or it didn't sell well. It did not perform well financially.
Yeah.
So it gets cut in price in less than a year. That's how you know. It's like,
I mean,
oh,
Yeah.
Because they're
fuck.
trying to make their money back. They're trying to make
Yeah.
it back as
I,
fast as they can.
I agree that Uncharted 3 out of the whole series is the weakest one, but it was not a bad game by any means. It just didn't do as well.
Looking at you, Uncharted 4.
Right?
That game
Hey,
is fucking
Uncharted,
awesome.
it is awesome.
I'm just kidding. I like Uncharted.
I think
So
everybody likes
going
Uncharted.
back
I don't
to
know anybody who doesn't like that
but
game.
going back to Ed's point about them,
My
like
brother.
maybe lowering the prices and things, going all digital. I mean, John and I, we had a conversation about like trying to put some positivity on this episode instead of it being like, oh man, this is shitty. What are we gonna do? So, so like, I mean, I see that as a positive aspect. Now, also like them going all digital, like it could save the company money because they don't have to put that game on a physical disc and then also like condense it, because they can just take that information and just upload it essentially to the store so they'll be less restrictive. However, a conversation John and I had a long, long time ago, he brought up a good point of like back in the day where developers were extremely restricted, so they had to flex their creative muscles to give us the best product possible. Do you think they would be capable of that if they had more freedom and less
More money.
constraints and more money? Or do you think that's gonna kind of, or do you think we're gonna see a trend where things are kind of stagnant and all games are kind of the same? Even we won't get anything, something that's really unique.
It'll probably be a bit of a mixture of both because on the one hand, like you guys said, the corporate greed is there.
Mhm.
So they want to make as much money as they want. They don't want to spend that much money. So they're either gonna half-ass it and then try to make as much money as they can right away, or they're gonna take that money and actually put more effort into developing the games, like you said, Matt. Or it could be a mixture of both. Because at the end of the day, it's not so much just Sony, it's also the developers of the games. We have really good developers, we have really crappy developers. It all depends on who gets paid more. No, I mean, it could be, like I said, it could be a mixture of both.
In terms of what this means for the future of gaming, to simplify it and put my pessimistic attitude back all over it, Sony they have increased the price of the PS5 twice in 1 year, which is
I thought it was 3.
Is it 3? Twice? I know
Hang on.
twice. Twice
Hang
was
on.
record. Twice was record breaking. No one had ever done that before. I think Xbox did it too.
How many times has the PS5 increased in price in a year? Twice.
Oh, okay, I could have sworn it was 3.
It was
So it went from
50% hike across all console versions in August 2025, followed quickly by a second global increase in April 2026 that raised prices by up to $150 depending on the model.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah, the Pro is $899.99.
So that's happened. And also, like we were talking about how like the selling spaces in Walmart are getting less and less and less. Sony's going all digital. Microsoft is completely restructuring Xbox and they fired a whole bunch of people. Nintendo seems to be doing okay.
They're kind of plateaued.
And plateau is better than down.
Yeah, for real.
But they're not doing great. They're not doing bad. They're right there.
I hopped on the plateau. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that video games, and this is what I think it means for the future. I don't think that video games are going to go away, but the industry, the way it is, will probably go away. I think something not bad, it'd be good for video games. There will always be guys out there making video games, and there's sick indie stuff out there right now.
Yeah, look at that game that won Game of the Year award, the Expedition 33. That was an indie developer, right?
Well, technically no, but technically yeah, they had financial backing from like a big creator, but mostly
but the studio's made out of like 5 guys, ain't it? Ain't that like
I think it was something like that, but also like the idea of having financial backing from a big corporation.
This should be another episode. What consists of what needs to be an indie game? What does it need to be consisted of? That should be another topic.
Yeah, so I think that the industry is going to change radically. I think GTA 6 is going to have a huge part in that with its pricing and the way. Oh, don't even get me fucking started with what they did because that
Sounds
already
like they
happened.
already
It already
started.
happened. It already happened. But
Wait,
yeah, I think Nintendo.
tell us,
That's
John, what happened?
another whole other. That's a whole other conversation.
It really is.
Google it.
We could do a whole episode on GTA 6 if we
And the
want to.
pricing, video game pricing. We could just talk about GTA 6 all the
Ridiculous.
time. Yeah, I think something either something probably negative is going to happen with Sony and Microsoft when it comes to making video games. I think Nintendo is going to stick around like a fucking vampire, and someone else's games are going to start selling. People are kind of fed up with this, and it's getting more and more expensive, and things are getting worse and worse, and they're cutting this and they're cutting that, and now they're cutting discs altogether. I don't know. I think it looks kind of grim for Sony and Microsoft.
All right.
But
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is a fact. I have a lot of potential to be wrong in this, but it's just my opinion based on what I've seen is that it's not looking good for them, fellas.
All right.
Like,
I think Kyle had something to say.
Yeah, he raised his hand like a good boy.
I do think that something bad is going to happen, but Microsoft is doing something that I think Sony should at least look at. And they're like letting you like upload your physical games, like your Xbox original games, your 360 games, maybe. I'm not sure what all the like what meets the parameters, but they're letting you upload them so you can play them digitally instead of having
Yep.
to play them physically.
Yeah. If you own it
And
physically, you can upload it to the cloud and play it anywhere.
yeah, which is great. You know?
Cloud gaming is a thing and is really good.
Yeah, and so it's I feel like Sony should at least look at that and see
They
if
kind
it,
of do, but
if
they
they
make you pay
can.
for it.
But that, yeah, sure, but like I'm already paying, well, not me personally, but people are already paying for Netflix and Hulu and all the other streaming
Mhm.
services. So what's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm just saying it is an option, but I do agree that something bad is going to happen between them or
Mhm.
with each of them.
Now Matt has something to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say throughout John's whole rant about Nintendo, how they plateaued, or you said they plateaued.
I agreed.
You agreed, but my whole thing with Nintendo is that we see all these quote unquote radical things happen between Microsoft and Sony like all the time, and Nintendo, since their like conception into video games, they've been doing the same thing for themselves,
Yeah. And it
and
works.
it worked.
They've been consistent.
The industry could implode on itself tomorrow, and Nintendo will still be there.
Yeah, they're like gaming cockroaches.
Yeah,
So even if
they saved video games.
yeah, if
No, they
something-
literally did.
So
Yeah.
even with like all this doom and gloom that's hanging over our heads, I'm still like, yes, Nintendo will kick in your door if you fucking violate if you violate their copyrights
Or pirate something.
or pirate something.
Or make a
But-
copy of
They'll
something
do
that
that
is
if you
similar
talk
but not
about
at all.
pirating something.
But
Oh, my Switch bricked.
I will
Excuse
give
me.
them. I'll continue to back Nintendo because of how consistent they have been and how they treat their consumers.
Okay. My turn.
Go ahead.
To try to shine some light on the whole pessimism you guys are talking about, it's hard though. It is hard though because the statistics say that if Sony does go all digital, one of three things can happen. One, they're literally alienating a quarter of the world population because a quarter about everybody in the world still don't have access to the internet, especially high-speed internet, which is what you need to be able to play online, to download games, all that good stuff, streaming, what have you. And let's say everybody migrates to PC because of that, because it's already digital. Only a quarter of people in the world play PC, even now. So the PC community is on the rise, but not to the point where it'll overtake and steal out of Sony's customers.
So there'll be like no real way to sustain digital.
It's not a viable market. It really isn't,
Right.
which is why that's why Microsoft doesn't put all their eggs on PC gaming. They have other venues. They have components. They have computers, monitors, what have you. They diversify their portfolio, which is why they can take a risk on digital gaming, which is why all of their games can be digital and they can still make a profit on physical media because one, they diversify, and two, their money doesn't come from the majority of gaming. It comes from PC and components and selling parts and hard drives and all that. So that's one of the three things that can happen. One, they will migrate from PlayStation to PC, but I don't really see that happening. Two, the other thing can happen. Sony decides to be a good guy and maybe start doing what Steam does and start selling games cheaper, which will incentivize people to buy games more digitally, and in a way maybe even make Sony turn a profit so well that it is shoots them in the stratosphere, making them the best selling gaming company in the world. I don't see that happening. I really don't. And the third, to me, is probably what is going to be the most obvious one. It is we are probably going to see a game crash, in the sense that one, Sony might, see that they made a mistake and they collapse under their own weight of trying to go all digital, and they suffer for it. They won't go away. I don't see the gaming industry
Yeah.
ever going away, but they will suffer for it. They probably learn from their mistakes, even apologize. Because I don't know if you guys remember back in the PS3 days when they got hacked, they literally had a
Yep.
press conference. They literally bowed down and apologized to the consumer, saying that they were sorry for what happened. So I see that happening. That's my prediction that's going to happen. Sony, they might turn a profit like the first 1 or 2 years, and then boom, the bubble's gonna burst, kind of like the housing market, and they're gonna realize like, crap, we made a mistake. Maybe let's just go back to physical, and maybe in a year or two after the whole digital debacle, we'll go back to physical media. I mean, I don't see physical media ever dying because people like us, even people who live in places that don't have access to physical stuff readily, like you and Matt, John,
Yeah.
they are gonna be willing to pay that extra money for physical stuff because they want something tangible, they want to collect. PS4 and PS5 games are already on the rise, sale wise, because of Sony's latest announcement. Their sales have gone up, so people are out there buying these physical games because they want to conserve them, they want to hang on to them. But that's my opinion. I think the third thing is gonna happen. Sony is gonna realize their mistake and rectify it. So Nintendo's always going to be there because
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
they've ingrained themselves so much. It's like Lego, it's like
Yeah.
Disney World. They are consistent. They are timeless. They're never going to go away. I don't care if the CEO of Nintendo comes out and skins a cat in live TV. People are going to be like, "Oh, that is horrible," but let me go buy another game real quick.
to
But
bring up you were talking about people who don't have access to the internet, how there's a lot of people in the world, and I think that people might not realize that, like, that's in America too, because
Yeah,
I just got this new boss at
roughly
my job.
6.29% don't have internet in the US.
I just got this new
and
boss at my job, and he it turns out he likes horror movies a lot. So I was talking to him about, I love horror movies, so we're talking about him a lot. And I brought up this movie. He goes, "Oh, that was on the other day." I'm like, "What do you mean on?" He was like, "Oh, it was on this channel." I'm like, "Channel? What the?" I was like, "You watch cable TV? That's fucking crazy." I'm like, "I just watch
I
everything on the internet." And he goes, "Oh, we don't have internet and we can't get it there."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is
it's
Wow.
surprising.
this
So
is 45 minutes away from where I am. Like a
yeah,
45-minute drive. There's no internet providers out there.
yeah. So quick thing about that. We live in rural America, John
Gang, 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 gang.
and I. And so with that, like we have like two internet companies out here, and it takes a lot to
Fuck, there
get
is two.
internet.
It's not like two. It is two. I just
It
think
is
about it.
two.
It's two.
It's only two. There's only two companies out here, and it takes a lot to get internet. So, a quick example of that is up where I work at the shelter, which is within the county and not far from town. There's no internet. I have zero access to internet. So anytime I need to do a report or write out a charge against somebody, I have to go down to the sheriff's office.
So there's even no Wi-Fi? There's not even any Wi-Fi?
Bro,
Holy crap.
his office is a garden shed. It's a
Oh my
she shed.
God.
It's a
Yeah.
she shed. It's
Yeah,
nice.
it is.
But it's a straight up she shed. That bitch is
it
on
is.
cinder. It's on cinder blocks.
It is. Like and like so like
So you work on the set of Tremors then?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, if Tremors happens, Matt's fucked.
Yes, he is, because there's no rocky areas there, are there?
Well, it's all
No,
gravel. It's all gravel, which might make it even easier to find him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's concrete on the flooring where the dog kennels are.
They can get through
Yeah,
concrete.
they can get
through
through that.
concrete.
Yeah,
They
they
can
can
get
get through concrete.
Well, I got a nice truck that I could run in.
Just drive
That's
really
fair.
fast. Yeah, really
Yeah.
fast.
Anyways, so yeah, like I mean, people don't really have cable per se. They have satellite TV
But
because
can you
you can
get
put
internet through that?
You
You
can.
can.
it's a
It
abysmal.
sucks. You can
I
get the Elon Musk internet is a thing. I know one of
Starlink.
my Starlink, one of the
yeah,
guys I works
Starlink.
with, one of the guys I work with has that, and he said it's literally the greatest internet he's ever experienced. But if a storm comes through and fucks up the equipment, that's straight out of his pocket, and it's hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah, it's a
dollars.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Oof.
So, but the thing with satellite internet, you could have high speed satellite internet, but you are paying an arm and a leg for it. So, like basic regular internet that we have because we live in town, we're kind of like spoiled because of it versus people because there's people out here that have acres of land and they don't have shit around them.
Yep. So, how close do you guys think video game culture is to digital only now? Anyway,
Pretty fucking close, honestly.
most of it is
Yeah, I
digital.
mean, the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports, they're not even remasters of the same game, just now they're on the PS5.
And if
Right.
you go to if I go to Walmart, buy a physical game, bring it home, put it in my PlayStation with no internet, the game's gonna run like shit and be fucked up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it's I have more games digitally than I do physically now anyway. And a lot of that is because of the free games for PS
Yeah.
Well,
Plus.
let's
But
talk
you
about
here's the
that.
thing though, you didn't go out there and buy them though.
I was gonna say for like ownership, I would say like when it comes to your digital library versus your physical games, I would say ownership of games would for your digital library. How many of those games
Did you actually
did
buy?
you actually buy? Because to compare your digital library to your physical game, I know for a fact that my digital library for games that I've actually purchased is a little bit more than for
Mhm.
my physical games. My digital library as a whole, including free stuff, is massive.
Yeah, paying the subscription to get them.
Yeah.
For me, I purchase more physical than digital. I can probably count all the digital games I actually bought with my own money in my hand.
So you're saying your physical library is larger than your digital library?
Technically, my digital library is bigger, but my purchases via digital is a lot smaller because I mostly buy physical.
Right.
But yeah, because of PlayStation Plus, Game Pass, my digital library is insane. It's like in the thousands.
Yeah.
But that's you don't own them. You're paying the subscription, so you
Mhm.
technically shouldn't count. Like I said, the last AAA game that I bought was Pragmata, and it was on PC. Actually, I also bought Resident Evil Requiem, but again, it was on PC. I didn't buy them on PlayStation 5. I'm migrating to PC, so unfortunately, I'm probably gonna start purchasing more digital games.
I have a lot of digital games. I think it might be 60-40 now with more digital.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I mean, I'm
But
counting
did
all
you
the.
but did you actually go out and buy those games, or were
Yes.
they also okay?
Yes, I have a lot of purchased digital games.
I do too.
I think it's just that since I'm not next door to your GameStop anymore. I don't. And I've bought
It's the
like
convenience, though, right?
yeah,
It's the convenience. Yeah.
there were, and I'm counting like my retro collection. Like a big chunk of my NES games came from Amazon.
But you're still
Especially
buying
now.
them, though.
Yeah,
You're still
I am
buying them,
still
yeah.
I am still buying them, but I'm just saying like at a time I had more physical than digital and I was proud of that, but now because of my particular situation, it's
Mhm.
starting the pendulum is swinging the other way.
But you're a victim of circumstance. You're not. You
Right.
yourself didn't make that choice. It was made for you.
Kinda, yeah.
Given the actual choice, like if you're still back in Diego in California or rural area, you would still be buying more physical media than digital.
Yeah, I knew this was kind of gonna happen, or at least in some sense,
Yeah.
before I came out. I knew that there was a lot of, there would be sacrifices. It's worth it.
People in your areas are victims of circumstance because of where you are. You aren't given a choice. That's the only choice you have, unless you want to drive 40 minutes here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, if there's like a GameStop in our town, we'd be there buying video games.
100%. Yeah.
But
Makes me
yeah,
kind of
also-
want to. Makes me kind of want to open one over there. You know,
We would
But
just hang
also-
out there. Like,
make it a coffee shop.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
But also, I
GameStop
think
cafe.
I'll move out there.
You
Bro.
kind of just gave me an idea, John.
bro.
But
Kind
I
of gave
think
me
Yes.
an idea.
for our particular area, I don't think I don't think there's quite the market for video games within our because we have a lot of
Oh,
elderly people out here.
Yeah, people go there to retire.
there is and there isn't. Because like I knew this working at when I worked at the gas station as the cashier. I met a lot. This is a very small town. I met a lot of these people. There's a lot of people that a lot of people early 20s or teenagers or closer to my age that they will go out and do criminal activity and get in trouble. And there's a lot of them that I've heard say, I got a PS5 or I got a PS4 or an Xbox to stay out of trouble. He's like, I'm not out in the streets doing dumb shit. I'm at home playing 2K all day
Yeah.
long. And so there are people even here in this town that will, they're like, oh, why you just gonna stay inside and play video games? At least they're shooting out there, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
and they are.
Yes, they are.
So there is
Yeah.
a market. It's probably not a big enough one to sustain like a GameStop,
Yeah.
but there are, there is video game culture out here.
Yeah, but
For
again,
sure.
you guys are you guys are victims of circumstance. It's
Right.
about where you are. The choice wasn't given to you; it was enacted. And given the choice, you guys would still just be physical purchase. And Matt, I know
Yeah.
you're probably the biggest physical purchaser in our entire group because you buy retro and you refuse to not physically own your games. And I know you have your shelf of games that you already own.
But since I've been out here,
Hmm.
I mean, although I haven't really purchased a video game per
Yeah,
se,
but I think part of that is also because there
except
hasn't been
for
anything that grabbed your attention.
the only game that I've actually like purchased recently would be the Metro series, and
Nice.
that was all digital, but that's because each I got all three games for $15. And I
Yeah.
got the Redux version, which is like the
And that's one of the things that
remaster.
and that's one of the things that like I mentioned earlier that I think what is going to happen in the future. We might see a dip in the cost of games. Maybe, hopefully.
In this digital age, how restrictive do you think games are going to be without access to the internet? How would playing video games be affected if you no longer had Ed, I go to your house and I cut off your internet and Donald Trump passes a law that says Ed's not allowed to have internet anymore. How is you playing video games going to be different without you're not
Well,
allowed access to the internet anymore?
well
Fuck
for
you
one,
specifically.
if you don't have internet, you can forget about ever buying or downloading a game because I mean,
Yeah.
unless you want to go to the library and have a little setup there and their internet sucks and you have to wait 4 hours for something to download, you're not going to be able to buy
Oh,
anything.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
I actually did
Starbucks.
do that once. I did do that once.
I used to bring
Um,
my 3DS to Starbucks
But
and buy
as
a whole
far
game.
as let's say I am able to buy a game and my internet goes out, Sony already went on record that if your console is not online for more than 30 days, they will lock the game. So
They'll
just
close
like
your
the place,
account.
yeah, they'll close your account. That's true. You are correct, Kyle. But if you aren't online, they can also close the game as well. I don't know
Yeah.
how long it is, but it's about also the 30-day mark. So basically, you're not gonna own anything if you go all digital. You technically don't
Mhm.
already own anything if it's all digital, because like Matt mentioned, the licensing stuff. There's so many games that have been purchased digitally that people don't own anymore because the license expired and Sony didn't renew them. So they were removed they were delisted, and they were somehow removed from people's accounts, which I feel it should be illegal because you're technically stealing.
Mhm.
Ain't that like a form of stealing, digital stealing? We got to the
Um,
point where
I have a
we're
lot of opinions on that.
yeah, but let me finish mine.
Go
You can
ahead.
go. But basically, as far as digital ownership and how it's gonna be, unless you have a steady internet connection, you're SOL because you're not gonna be able to own your games for more than 30 games unless you connect every now and then. Hotspots might become a thing. I know T-Mobile has that, and so does Verizon, where you get a box and it emits an internet
Yep.
connection
We had
because
T-Mobile internet for a long
it
time.
gets like the signal from the phone. I don't know how it works, but it works. I
Mhm.
actually have it in one of my rooms. But I just think it's ironic that we're at this point where it all started with like, let's cut off cable and start subscribing to stuff because cable is greedy and they charge too much. And now we're literally paying that and more for all the subscriptions that we have because I'm subscribed to Game Pass, to PlayStation Plus,
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu, YouTube Premium. Spotify,
Mhm.
Nintendo. I have the Nintendo Plus subscription. Oh my God. My phone services. Oh my God. Yeah. So I'm paying hundreds, if not a couple hundreds every month compared to what I probably would have been paying if I just had cable.
Yeah,
Although I
that's
probably wouldn't have high speed internet if that were the case.
kind of why like I'm not a very good media buff cast member. Like I have HBO Max and that's it. And honestly, like there are things I want to finish Daredevil Born Again season 2. I want to see the new X-Men 97, but like I just it's that and Nintendo and PlayStation and my phone and the light bill and the water bill and the fucking
It's too
all this
expensive.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm not I want Disney Plus, but I'm probably not going to get it anytime soon.
No, yeah. But that's the end result that I think is going to happen to digital libraries. People are probably going to get fed up with it and stop subscribing, or people are going to suffer through it and just keep paying up the yin yang.
Or like for me,
Take it away, Matt. Take it away.
if someone came and cut my internet, I would be affected, but not super affected because I have like physical games I could fall back on and play.
It's true.
However, the thing that pisses me off most is what you said, where if you're not connected to the internet and Sony closes your account or closes the game, like fuck you, I pay for it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if it's digital, like, but we enter an agreement. I give you money, you give me this product. This product
Hmm.
is now
Yeah.
mine. I
Well,
don't,
no.
no. Base bottom line, point blank. I give somebody money, they provide me a product. End of story.
It's
Actually,
not the
to
it is or
actually to interject, they just added. I think they just added a clause that circumvents that, Matt.
that's been a thing since
I
VHS tapes.
know.
Every
Yeah.
VHS tape has that FBI warning at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Mhm.
Okay, a product is yours within certain parameters. You can't just take something and resell it. That's always been a thing. I understand that. However, if let's use VHS for as an example. I have fucking Lethal Weapon on VHS, right?
Nice.
And
He froze again.
Really? What the fuck's what's going on with him?
I'm telling you, he ran out of internet.
But basically, what I was gonna say is this in my hand, this physical copy of Silent Hill 2. I do not own Silent Hill 2. This is my license to play Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Is there a disc in there or was it a code?
It's a disc, but it's in my I'd show you, but it's actually in my PS5 right now.
Okay. Finish your thought, Matt. What were you saying? Because you got cut
all
off.
right, well, as I say, now let's say I own Lethal Weapon physically, right? I'm VHS. It's once they made that purchase, it's not like the police are going to come in and kick in my door and yank that VHS out of my hand because I don't have internet or my VHS player broke.
True.
Can
So
you
VCR?
can you set up a VCR in your living room and then go on Facebook and say, "Hey, everybody, we're gonna go watch Lethal Weapon at my house, $5 at the door," and then everybody can come to your house and pay $5 to come inside to watch Lethal Weapon. Can you do that?
You can
no,
probably twist it into a way
that's
where
not
you
what I'm fucking
could.
talking about though,
But
John.
if you own it, I own that bass guitar. If I want to charge you $5 to come to my house and listen to me play the bass guitar, I am within my legal right to do that because I
Yeah.
own that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't own
I
anything. It's fucked. It's all
No.
fucked.
Stop, calm the fuck down, because yes,
Sorry.
you like I said,
He's getting himself worked up.
like you fuck like I said, you pay for something, it's yours. Yes, there's laws and regulations we have to follow. But at the end of the day, you pay for something, it's yours. As
Yeah.
simple as that. So for a company to say, hey, um, if you don't have access to internet, your digital games are no longer yours. Or like it's like
No.
what I said earlier, where for any fucking reason at all, they feel like they don't want the game up on their stores or up on the platforms or anything. They could just go in and take it away. There has to be a way, there has to be something that goes against that. And that has to be breaking the law in some sort of way, because
Yeah.
you are there has to be a form of embezzlement, because these people paid you for this product, and you're
Hmm.
taking the product away from them.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing that just happened. I don't know all the details because people are acting like it's the first time it happened. It's not.
It really isn't.
Sony lost some contract or some license, so basically a bunch of people's movies that they paid for
Yeah, they got
are
removed.
gone, and people are losing their mind. Like, oh, if they go all digital, this is gonna happen. That's already happened.
Yeah.
On the PS3, I don't remember the exact number. I want to say I had like 62 PS1 classics, and
Yeah.
that's how I played the first Silent Hill for the first time. How I finally got to beat Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I had like seriously like 62 of these games. I no longer have access to those
Nope.
because I don't have a PS3 that works. And like that's I bought all those. I paid there were no like special giveaways or PlayStation Plus. I paid for all 60 something of those PS1 games and I
Yeah.
cannot play them. To
That
get
sucks.
And you
them,
should be able to.
Yeah.
yes,
You
I
should be able
agree.
to.
I should be able to. I bought every single goddamn one of them. In their defense, I found out that like so when they put Resident Evil 2 and 3 on like PS5 and PS4, if you had already paid for it, it's free. Because
Yeah.
it's already in your account. So that was cool. I didn't have to buy those games. But still, like, what about the first Silent Hill? What about Ape Escape? What about all the shit I
Yeah.
bought? It's
Yeah,
like,
it's one of those things that it's kind of it's kind of a middle finger to the consumer, and it's strictly to the consumer because the producer or the people selling, they don't lose anything. If anything, they gain because they just swindled you. It's basically they're swindling you. They're saying like, "Hey, I have this right here. You want to buy it? But maybe down the line, I don't know, I can take it away from you if I want to. Okay, is that cool?" Here's the thing though, and here's the kicker, and here's where I kind of defend them. Anytime you purchase a digital game, there's a disclaimer.
Yep.
And there's actually, if you read the whole damn thing, it actually does state that clause that there is a possibility that you might lose
Mhm.
the item if something happens. Then there, and I can pull up a clause and send it to you guys. You guys read them yourself. So in a way, it's the consumer's responsibility, and they will say that same thing to educate themselves and know that when they're buying digital, they are technically only renting the item for a certain amount of time. If the item gets delisted, they lose ownership of it. Here's my side though. If you want to own something digital, you should be allowed to retain that digital item, even if the game gets delisted or they lose the license.
Yeah.
What I do, and a lot of people should start doing, I like to put anything digital into an external hard drive so where I can just yank it off. It is sitting there. I don't connect my console to the internet. I connect the hard drive. I can play it again. That's my take. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's
That's my
smart.
2 cents. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as owning digital, that's one of the reasons I don't like to buy digital. I'll buy digital on like Steam because I know they don't do that.
they
But that's
can't
what I'm
verify
saying.
the
Like,
license. If it's sitting on an external hard drive, you can't verify the license without.
You if you
Sorry,
don't
sorry
connect
to
it to
cut you
the
off.
internet, if you don't connect it to the internet, the console doesn't have the capacity to read that license, so it can't discern whether or not that license is active. It's like kind of like a limbo thing. It's like this, where it doesn't know whether or not it's a yes, kind of like Schrodinger's box, where you don't know if the cat's alive or dead. So the console does not know whether or not that game is still connected, licensed. The license rights are still active, so it can discern whether or not to let you play the game or not. But if you connect it through an external hard drive, you can play the game with no issue. I've been doing that for years now, and I have games that have been delisted. One of the first games I've heard that
Thank
got
you.
delisted that people were pissed about was the game called Scott Pilgrim. I don't know if you guys remember
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, I know that.
It
It
was
came
one of the
back
first
played
though.
it.
games that got delisted. It came back, years later. I still own the PS3 version because I had the thought process to keep it in an external hard drive. Almost every digital game I own is in an external hard drive because one, it's easier on my console, to have them because it doesn't put that strain on them. It frees up space for other games or games that I have to install. And two, I'm not gonna have that console forever. I'm gonna upgrade down the line. So if I want to take those games and not have to re-download them again, guess what? I can do it with that. Same thing with the Switch. I have a lot of games saved on, like, how we have a lot of games saved on the SD cards
Yeah.
digitally. You can do that. You can pop it into another Switch too, and no issues there.
Ooh, the Switch and the Switch 2 don't take the same type of SD card, which is fucking
No, I'm
bullshit.
saying the Switch too. I'm saying
Yeah,
if
I
you
know
have
what
a
you're
Switch
saying.
too, you can put it on the
that's
Switch too. You're
bullshit.
fine.
Yeah,
It
it
is
is
BS. It
bullshit.
is
That was
BS.
the
Yeah.
first thing I tried was to bring my SD card over.
I did too.
And it
I
didn't
did
work.
too. And they try to break my SD card too. It
Damn.
even says, "Oh, we will now format the card to work on this console." I'm like, "No," and I turned it off and I ejected it.
So my whole thing was, it has to do with better business practices.
It should be better, but like
So,
they shouldn't be allowed to
like,
do that.
if I like, Sony kind of has a history of being a little shitty at times.
Yeah.
So, I'm also thinking about like the developer, right?
Uh-huh.
Because if you can't run a business with good moral ethics, which that's like if Nintendo announced that they were going to go all digital, I would be okay with Nintendo because of their practices and how they treat their consumers. Yes, they've kind of made like some mistakes and things, but at the end of the day, they do care
Yeah.
about the
Yeah,
consumers.
because I can't let me add something to that real quick too, Matt, and then you are 100% right. If you purchased any games on the DS or the Wii, guess what? You can still download them because even though the shops are closed, the servers are still being held up. And any digital purchase you made on those consoles, you can still download, which is one practice that I really love that Nintendo did. They might have gotten rid of the classics and the shops that let you buy the OG games, but you can still get all those games back if you downloaded them, if you
Yeah,
purchased them
and
digital.
but that's what I'm talking about. I mean, Nintendo has, in comparison to everyone else. Yes, I know if you go to the East Store, there's quite a bit of stuff there, but it's not that much in comparison to what's on Microsoft, Sony, or Steam, right?
Yeah, well, they prefer physical.
Yeah, Nintendo's mostly physical. So, but if, like I said, if Nintendo goes all digital, if they made that announcement, I would be okay with them because of how they treat consumers and how they
Hmm.
treated their business. Unlike Sony, where they, like I said, they've done some shitty things in the past and they're bound to do it again.
Yeah.
So, if they start doing that, it's going to really upset people. And going back to the developers could opt to leave them and go work for someone else.
True.
But if
Well, I
everybody's
mean,
going digital, then it's all about who pays better to some
yeah.
people, or if they're working with Nintendo or
So,
Sony or Xbox.
so
Yeah.
if so if Sony like continues to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, they could lose their developers.
Hmm.
They would lose their consumers, and then they yes they sell TVs and all this other shit, but I think their strong point at this point in time in their company are video games. I think that's what they lean a lot more into. I could be wrong. Please fact check me
No, you're right.
because I know they sell other products. They started off selling other products, then they came up to
Well, they were an electronics company before.
yeah, they're electronics company beforehand, and then like the PlayStation just hit it for them, and so I think they put a lot more of their resource of their company into video games. So if they lose that portion of their company, I'm pretty sure their company is going to go under.
I don't
Bro,
think they'll go
you
under,
say
Matt, but
that
they will suffer. They will suffer.
you say that, but then if you're just looking at Nintendo, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is the biggest media franchise of all time. It is the highest grossing everything.
Yeah, it
Yes.
really
It
is.
it
Both in
outclasses everything else in Nintendo specifically, and everything else in pretty much everywhere else.
yeah.
But it's got multi-billions of dollars, just billions of dollars just sitting there.
They're their own entity at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And Nintendo will not put more money into their games at all, period. They just won't. They made a shitty game,
Yeah.
fucking Legend Z to
The
A or
AZ.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a very bad
That
that
game.
looked
game
like
is shitty.
shit.
Scarlet Violet is garbage.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I prefer the old school games.
Yeah.
I do, but that's not why I'm saying it. It's
I
like
heard
the
Arceus was
games
the last good
look
one.
garbage. I hate
Arceus is all right.
Arceus. I
Arceus is all
hate
right.
Legend Arceus. But that's just me. I just don't like them.
The story's
But
bad.
yeah, I just didn't have fun playing it.
Stop
But
fighting.
it fucking
Fucking stop it.
so if they had put more money into their game, like just in their next game, if they put $1 billion, one singular $1 billion into that game, it would probably be the best Pokemon game they've ever made.
Absolutely, yeah.
and they are refusing to do it, and they're still afloat. That's what
I think part of the I think part of the reason is because they know that it'll still sell.
yep, because people will buy it. Hi, kitty.
Keeps
But
attacking brothers.
adding to what Matt was saying about Sony's and their pretty crappy practices, they're not gonna go under, Matt, simply because they've reached the point where they're fixed in the economy as a consistent retailer. And
Hmm.
again, they have their electronics to fall back on and other items they have, cameras, headphones, microphones, what have you. So the whole thing about them closing down studios, they actually already closed down 2 studios this year alone, Blue Point and Dark Outlaw.
Oh, Blue Point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Blue Point is specifically because they were developing what game were they developing, guys?
Fuck, I forgot, but it was something big, and we were
It
all
was
looking
something
forward
I
big,
to
don't
it.
and
remember.
that is gone now. We're not
Wasn't
gonna
it
get that
like
game
the
now.
next Perfect Dark or some shit like that?
Something like
I don't
that.
know. They brought us the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the PS3, and I will
They
Mhm.
did.
never forget them for that. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, going to what you were saying, Matt, they're already doing that. And unfortunately, it's not gonna be the nail in the coffin. They're still gonna be around simply because there's gonna be consumers who are gonna put up with them. You and I,
Yeah.
the four of us, might not do that. We might boycott them. We might stop subscribing to PlayStation Plus. But there are still dedicated consumers or consumers that don't have a choice, given their circumstances or where they live, they'll just keep doing that and they'll put up with it because they either don't have any other options or they just don't care. And they are okay
Yeah.
putting up with it. That's their prerogative, that's their, option. But at the end of the day, Sony will suffer, but they won't go down. They won't go under.
Yeah, they'll
And
be fine.
yeah, and
Well,
Which
as far as Nintendo goes, I mean, they've done some pretty shitty practices too.
I mean, they
uh-huh.
have, but
And we love them for it.
Here's the thing.
but
Here's the thing, though, and then I like Nintendo for this. They
they have
almost
apologized for it, and
they own up to their mistakes.
and they've always given something in return.
Because they pride themselves on quality. They've never cared about quantity. They always care about quality, and
Well,
it shows. Maybe not so much now, like Kyle was saying with the latest Pokemon game, but I think that's only because they know that they're at a point where they feel like they can sell whatever.
funny thing you
Yeah.
bring up the whole thing about quality, because as we all know, with Japanese culture, they care about the product,
Yeah, well,
and
Japanese steel is the main point right there.
well,
Mm-hmm.
that's debatable because there's some really good European steel out there.
Okay.
Um, but as you're right, Ed. But going back to their historical eras, blacksmiths that crafted the swords, they put so much time and
Mhm.
effort and energy to produce the best product available.
Yeah.
And that has been ingrained in their culture since whenever Japan was, made, wherever case may be. So,
Japan was
how,
made.
yeah.
Japan was made in 1902 by
Yeah.
British acolytes.
But the point is, it's been ingrained in their culture, and we see
No,
it
yeah.
and we see it with everything that
Yeah.
that they do. So to me, it's really surprising. Sony, a Japanese company, is doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get this greedy? I mean, they produce a pretty good product, but in comparison to everyone else that's in the market, how good is that product? Like, really ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
is it the best that they can do?
True. At the end of the day, it's all down. It comes down to the consumer. Us as consumers, we have all the power. So if we wanted to, we could cripple Sony right now by literally canceling all the subscription and not spending a single dime on any upcoming games, products, or whatever. And we could
Yeah.
literally cripple them. They would
Yeah.
bleed out with overnight. And I'm not even joking. This is
Yeah, they would lose a lot of money very quickly.
a ton of money. If every employee in their company just walked out right now, they would go under within hours, not
That's
even days.
it's any company, really.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
any company. But that's what I'm saying. The consumer has all the power, and unfortunately, they don't care for it, which is why GTA has already sold more than 1 million copies, even though it's not out yet, and even though you're not getting
Yeah.
a disc for it, and you're apparently gonna have to pay to play the game on top of having to spend $100 for it.
Wait, you have to pay to play the game?
So
Even though
from what
you,
I've heard, and again, we could do a whole episode on this, and we probably should.
I mean, I saw
Yeah.
something from Mighty Keith about
Yeah.
how there's like certain packages
Yeah.
that you could get, like if you didn't buy like the full price game.
Yeah, apparently if
Yeah.
you don't buy the full price game, certain areas are locked to you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Certain
and
things are
that's as
locked,
far
which
as
is
I
dumb
know.
as
I
shit.
didn't know you paid $100 and you still have to pay more
Yep.
money to
No,
play the whole game.
it's
No.
80. It's
It's
80, but then you have to buy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
So
Regardless,
the shit that
regardless.
they're talking about is if you buy the base game for $80, certain things are locked out. If you buy the $100 version, you have access to all of those things that were locked in the base game.
Yeah. Regardless, even though all this, and they went on record to say this, people still pre-ordered the game,
Yep.
which tells us two things. One, Sony knows that they can get away with this kind of crap,
Mhm.
and two, the consumer will still put up with it.
Yep.
If enough consumers put up with their crap, Sony will continue to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically it in a nutshell.
Money
One of
talks.
my
Money does
coworkers was like, "Oh, I'm getting GTA 6. I have it pre-ordered. They made all their money back just on pre-orders." I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
not a good thing." Like,
No, it's not.
you know,
Yeah.
like the game could be absolute fucking trash. It just looks really good.
Yeah, that
You
is true.
know,
Yeah,
like the
could
game
be.
could be
It
the
could
worst
be.
Grand Theft Auto they've ever made.
It could
There's
be.
been
Yeah.
some
Like,
bad Grand Theft Autos as well.
That's my point.
Mm.
And
Like,
those games didn't cost $80 and have PS5 graphics and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Again, it all falls on the consumer. Us as
Like-
consumers, it falls on us.
yeah, like I really want to get Wolverine. I have not pre-ordered Wolverine because I looked at the options, like getting the deluxe edition and all that shit. And it's like
Yeah.
all the stuff that's in the deluxe edition, except for maybe like one thing because it's like a soundtrack or something.
Yeah.
Like you can unlock in the game.
Yeah.
It's just getting the deluxe edition gives you that stuff early.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's
I think-
like a costume and an ability that Wolverine has.
Yeah. It's kind of
like-
like Ubisoft's early game access, where you can play a
Yeah.
game early.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's like it's not like getting access to the game early because that might happen because you pre-ordered the game. I don't remember.
Mhm.
I don't remember what I could look it up. My PlayStation's right here.
Yeah.
But like it's I don't want to pay what $20 more or whatever the fuck the difference is between the two games to get the brown and yellow costume.
Right.
I don't care.
the whole costume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like who cares? You get it anyway. It just says on the thing like early access to
Yeah.
this costume. Like
The whole situation makes me think about I remember maybe a few years ago, a lot of people were speaking up about the WNBA and saying that what the female athletes were getting paid compared to the male athletes was this huge discrepancy. Like they were making significantly less.
I mean,
There's protests, there's all these things on the internet, there's all these people saying all these things. And granted, like they're both playing basketball, they're both essentially doing the same job. But no matter what you say and what you do and how much you protest and kick and scream, ticket sales.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all. Nobody gives a fuck about anything you're gonna say and how right you are. No one's gonna get like I agree with everything that we've said, but they release those new Call of Duty things and people buy them up like fucking gangbusters,
Yeah.
like 8-Bit
Mhm.
Eric was
I bought
talking
them.
about, which like Sony's gonna be like, okay, all these people are unhappy with us going digital only, but look at these numbers.
Yep.
yeah.
We're gonna look
I
at
bought
these
the
though.
Black
Yeah.
Ops 1 and
Yeah.
2 reports. You know, I bought
Yeah.
them.
I think one perfect example of what is going on right now. Did you guys ever watch the movie Liar Liar?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So
course.
there's a scene in the movie where his car gets impounded or he gets arrested. Regardless,
He gets
loses
pulled
his car.
over.
He gets pulled over and then his car gets impounded.
Yeah.
And
So
you talk
when he
about the
gets
scratch.
Yeah, he gets the car back. There's a scratch, and then he threatens the guy's like, "You know what I'm gonna do about this?" And then he goes on a rant, going to like nothing because even if I win, you're not gonna pay. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bitch and moan and take it up the tailpipe, and that's
Yep.
exactly what consumers are doing right now.
Yep.
Literally,
Mhm.
they are bitching and moaning, and they're still taking. They're going like, "I hate this," and they're bending over and they're pulling their pants on. This is the worst. I can't believe Sony's doing to us. They're
Yeah.
still bending over,
Well,
writing their cheeks, and letting them go in there. I mean,
uh,
I'm not, but other people are.
I think me personally, as of now, I say this as I look at my PS4 because that thing is awesome. I think I'm done with Sony
I think I'm done with them too.
because
Yeah.
I haven't turned it on in a month.
I'm
Ooh, I just lost my account, you guys.
Fuck, bro.
Like,
It's sad.
when
though.
when the Soulsborne or Souls like comes
Dusk
out for the
Bloods.
10, Bloods comes out, I'm getting the Nintendo or the Switch too. That's what I'm
Yeah.
waiting for. Saving up for it, so that way when
Yeah.
that day comes, I get it.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna get the PS6. Like I was thinking about it, but
I'm
now
not. I definitely
knowing
not.
Yeah,
that
I'm
it's
not either.
digital only,
I'm not either.
No.
knowing that's digital only. But once it comes
Yeah.
out, at most, I don't even know if I'll buy the PS5. Oh, I just want to play Dead Space the remake really bad.
Go to John's house and play it.
Yeah.
His is broken.
One little scratch, just like
Buy the game, bro.
That's
Like,
what I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna probably end up doing.
let's do it
just
today.
replace his
Let's do it
copy.
after this.
I mean, you could always do what I'm doing, Matt, and just go over to PC. It's
There is
basically
that.
the lesser of two evils.
When I get PC money, I'll go to PC.
As crazy
Uh-huh.
as it sounds, my PC only cost me $500, and I'm able to play AAA games pretty easily.
I
Yeah,
think that like
my laptop has a 4070 in it.
Mine has a 3650. These 16
Yeah.
gigs though.
I'll
Mine
still
is fucking huge.
I'll
Yeah.
use my PS5 for as long as it lasts. I still do like it. It's got, all those games that define this generation are exclusive to the PS5. But that's a joke. There's literally zero. But I do like it. I do like it.
I was looking
as
at you
a-
like, what is he saying?
I
What
do
did he
like it as
say?
it's a really good video game machine. I can record our voices when we play games and make fun, silly
Mhm.
videos. I love
I
that
like
shit.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, I won't be getting a PS6. And to harken back, to a callback when you were talking about how Nintendo is quality over quantity. I know Kyle's probably going to disagree with me, but in my opinion, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, excuse me.
On the Kingdom, he said.
Tears of the Kingdom.
It is Tears on the Kingdom because you're
It's
Tears
crying
of.
for
Yeah.
your kingdom.
The kingdom is doing the crying. It's Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
But
Well, with
I
all the
would s-
water, yeah, it looks like it.
I would say that game, this is just my opinion, and you guys may or may not agree, you probably won't. I think that is better than any of the last 10 Call of Duties, and it's not even close. It's just
I'll agree.
a higher
yeah.
quality of video game. I would rather
Sure.
play only Tears of the Kingdom for the rest of my life than any fucking Call of Duty.
I
Like,
agree
just-
with-
like,
I agree and disagree. I think Breath of the Wild is the better one.
Okay.
Tears of the Kingdom's got better spells and shit you can build and everything. I
I'll
have
give
not
you
gone.
that.
I have not gone back to Breath of the Wild since Tears of the Kingdom. So
All
But
right, let's
Breath of the
just-
Wild has a
let's-
motorcycle.
Yeah,
let's
I do
just
have that.
incorporate both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Both of those games are better than Call of Duty. As
Okay,
a
I'll give you
whole,
that. I'll give you that. I'll give that one. Yeah, I'm there with you.
there's
So-
far more content between the
Yeah.
two of them than
If-
the whole
ton of
franchise
content,
of
yeah.
Call of Duty.
Well, now the franchise now,
Yeah,
not
the
10 years
franchise
ago. Not 10 years ago.
I want to say something about what John said. I'm not disagreeing. I absolutely 100% agree with you because I
He's
have a list
disagreeing.
right here.
he's disagreeing.
Oh,
Look at his fucking face.
shut
He's
the fuck
disagreeing.
up. I have the
Look at the
I have
crazy
the-
look in his eyes.
I have a
Look at that
list
crazy
of
look
the
in his eyes.
last 10 Call of Duty games. There's one out of this entire list that I would like to play right now. I own it. I mean, it's right. I'm looking at it.
Which
Like
one is it?
Call of Duty World War II.
That was 10 years.
That was 2017.
Oh,
I have that
I
game.
really liked. Damn, barely.
Yeah.
Just 90.
Yeah.
I really liked the campaign.
The only one that came out before it was Infinite Warfare. That one was trash.
Yeah, I
but-
didn't give a fuck about that.
Everything else on the list, if you put me in a room and they were like, you have to play all of these games or Tears of the Kingdom, I would probably pick Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like I've played all of these games except for Black Ops 7, and they're all not good. Like they're just not. Like, I mean, they have their moments, sure. Like I played Black Ops Cold War because it was fun, and I had a buddy who played it too, so we played the multiplayer. But like, I like the Black Ops storyline. It's fun.
It is.
It's different. It's different than the typical like Modern Warfare shooter, you know. And Call of Duty 4 is my favorite one. But they did the remasters of Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, and in between they splashed like other Black Ops Cold Wars or World War II and other games in the series in there. And I would rather play Tears of the Kingdom over any of these.
Yeah.
and I do
So
not
that's
like those games.
that for me is why I'm gonna stick with Nintendo. I know the Switch 2 is having the same kind of problem the Switch 1 had when it came out, where the library is developing very slowly. I would
Hmm.
say probably too slowly. But what we're getting, like, Ed, have you played Donkey Kong Bonanza?
Oh, that game is so fun.
I fucking love it so much. I
I
played it
haven't
for
played it. I
hours
don't have it.
yesterday. It's the Switch 2's answer
Yeah,
to Mario Odyssey. It's the Mario
yeah,
Odyssey for Switch 2, and it's fucking incredible. I love it.
You can
yeah.
destroy everything.
Yeah, just about everything.
Nice.
But that's a really, really fun game. And like to just set up like and there's a whole lot of content and a million things to collect. So while you're waiting for the next game to come out, you have plenty to do in Donkey Kong. And this little baby cat is biting my feet again. Stop it.
Good kitty. Get him.
Stop it. I
Get
didn't
him.
do anything. All I did was love you. Do we think that this is going to affect piracy? All this
Oh,
digital only
No,
absolutely.
stuff?
absolutely not.
I think it'll stay the same, honestly.
Yeah,
Well,
it'll
Matt,
get
why do you
worse.
why do you think I agree with Kyle, but Matt, why do you think that it is going to
I
affect?
think if everything goes all digital, people get tired of the bullshit, they're going to just start pirating everything. It'll be so much easier to do it too because it's all digital.
Well,
Yeah,
it depends on I think how Sony approaches it. If they like Ed was
that's fair.
mentioned earlier, like maybe with them having full control, they'll be able to have more sales depending on how well things are doing. But on the other hand, maybe they'll do like Nintendo, where a lot of their good quality shit never really goes on sale or it's extremely rare.
Nope.
So I think a lot more people would be more willing to pirate that because they want to play fucking Mario Odyssey more than anything else in the world, but they're not willing to spend
Still 50
$60 on it.
bucks.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Let's see. Smash Brothers, 50 bucks. Almost a 10-year-old game. Breath of the Wild, 50 bucks. Almost a 10-year-old game. Um,
well,
Mario
they went
Party, the Mario Party games, $50 games.
well in their defense, they went down $10. It's like a
Oh,
dollar.
what a sell.
Which one?
Mario Party.
Mario
Oh
Odyssey,
yeah,
Mario Party, all
Yeah.
the big Switch One games are
Yeah.
still Smash Ultimate.
I personally
yeah.
think that it is gonna piracy is gonna go up on the rise. You can already jailbreak a PS5, which is amazing. Um, and with
Don't
emulators
even say
getting
those words around my PS5. Sorry.
with emulators as good as they're getting now, specifically PS4, there's a good PS4 emulator now that plays and runs the game surprisingly well. I think we're gonna start seeing a bit of a hike on that, and it's gonna be on the PC side because one, as far as pirating goes, pirating on a console is not impossible, but you have that risk that they will break the console. Like Nintendo, if you try to jailbreak the Switch, they will brick it and they will close your account permanently.
Yep.
But on the PC end, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more emulators and digital pirated games. I think we're going to see a lot of people making those things like back when uTorrent was still more of a thing, and that was one way to get access to digital games on the cheap or for free. And then you have what's that thing? Meta, not Meta. That's that file sharing website that people use to use a lot
Oh,
of.
I'm not gonna dox them.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
But
Yeah,
basically, I think we're gonna see a rise on that as far as pirated digital games and emulator goes. I don't know if you guys heard of this website called Game Flip.
No.
Basically,
no.
they sell games super cheap digitally, and those are all pirated games because they either find a way to get the code, or they
Yeah.
found the digital game and they just copy and they just give you the license to play the game on console or on PC, which is pretty impressive.
Get them, Nintendo.
Nintendo will eventually like come down on those guys, but it takes time. Like the one of the biggest Nintendo emulator distributor websites only recently went down, and they were around for like 15 years. And I mean, now the guy owes Nintendo $10 million, but
But
during that time, he was able to get all these emulated copies of their games out to the public. My Wii U is emulated with 200 games on it. Um,
Nice.
My Ally Rogue has PS3 games running on it. I recently streamed X-Men Wolverine on PC, which was an emulated PS3 game.
no
I didn't pay for it.
shade.
It was technically pirated.
What, X-Men Origins?
X-Men Origins, yeah. And it
Oh, it's
ran
such a good
fantastic.
game. That's such
It's
a good
such a good
game.
game, yeah. And it ran fantastically on my PC, and it was an emulator. And it wasn't, I didn't purchase it, I didn't pay for it, but I still was able to get it. I know, I am bad.
Get
So
him.
I think we are gonna see a spike in piracy, but it's gonna be on the PC end where they say like we're gonna take everything you have from your console and we're gonna find a way to port it to PC and let people play it for free. And I
I'm
think
wondering
that's
why that's. I'm wondering why that's why. That's part of the reason why Sony pulled all of their exclusives from PC players.
Probably.
that's one of the reasons. The other was mods. They pulled it because of mods. They got sick and
Mm.
tired of everybody turning everything into a waifu.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they didn't want to
Fucking
see Nathan Drake with
bollocks.
they didn't want to see Nathan Drake with giant boobies. They didn't want to see
I
uh
kind of do.
they
They
didn't
Yeah,
want to
already
like
see
make
I'm
that though.
curious, but
they
like
didn't want to see Crash Bandicoot with a big dumper. You know, Sony decided like we don't want our games to be modified, so we're pulling them from PC.
The problem with
Plus,
those is that the boobs look like they support themselves with no bra.
agreed.
You know what I mean?
Plus,
Like,
plus
yeah.
keep in mind
Magical.
Plus, keep in mind, for PlayStation games to run on PC, you need a whole new developer to do that. Remember the nightmare that was Arkham Knight,
yeah.
where the
Oh,
PC
fuck,
port was
that was
horrible?
so funny.
No, I have no
Oh.
idea. I mean, I know what
Sony
Kyle
happened.
has
I know
it.
all the bad things. I had no
Sony does
problems at all.
Sony does not want to have to pay that money again to make a game twice, only for them to literally make $1 on the sale on a digital version of the PC. So that's part of the reason they pulled from
No.
Steam.
Also, exclusivity on your, like, if you have a good game, like if Last of Us, if they didn't do that shit with God of War, or The Last of Us, if you had to buy a PS5 to play the God of War series, I think that's a good reason to like. You have to buy a Nintendo Switch too if you want to play the new Star Fox.
Well, Nintendo Switch has they are the kings of exclusivity. You
Yeah,
will never see any of their IPs on anything else.
I fucking love Mario.
Yeah,
I
you will never see
love
it on a
Mario.
Microsoft. You will never see it on a Microsoft game.
Yeah, that's why I got Switch too.
Yeah.
I
But
want to play
yeah,
Mario.
to add to what you guys said, yeah, I think piracy is gonna go on the rise because of that. Because there's
Yeah,
always
it's
there's
gonna be so
innovators
much
out
easier.
there. There's innovators out there. There's people, and like you said, Matt, since it's all gonna be digital, guess what? It's just a file. You click and drag. You click and drag.
Clack.
Yeah,
And
All you need, all you need is an emulator. That's
yeah,
all you need.
there's already plenty of websites to help with that to begin with. So even
Yep.
if Sony like is like, oh, we're gonna like make it so this game can't work or whatever the case may be, well, you're kind of behind the curve on that.
Yeah.
Unless they do something like unless they
They beef
pay
up their security. Yeah, they beef up
yeah,
their security,
which
but
we all know,
it's not the best. It's
yeah.
not the best.
How many
Compared
times
to
have they been
Microsoft,
hacked?
compared to Microsoft's and Nintendo, their security has always been pretty lax. Like it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
crappy if you think about it. But yeah, piracy is definitely gonna go on the rise because of that, and it's gonna be PC people who do it. I don't know if we'll see a lot of jailbroken PS5s. Maybe we will. But
I'm
when
sure it'll happen.
PS6 comes along and all the games are all digital, I'm pretty sure Pirate is gonna have a field day with that. They're gonna develop a
Yeah,
good emulator, then like bam, play your game
Now,
right then and there.
kind of
Oh, good.
speaking of piracy, um, I know it's illegal, but also at this point in time, if everything's gonna be all digital and we have to deal with end user agreements and all that stuff, I I don't know if it's piracy is such a bad thing because
Well,
there's still like because I'm also
you
kind of
wouldn't
thinking
download a
about
car.
one argument
yeah
that a lot of people are saying, if we don't own any of these things, it technically isn't pirating. We're also renting it as well. We're just not
right
paying you to rent it.
yeah, but so I'm also thinking about like the the parents that work really hard. They don't have much money or whatever, but they work really hard all year long to buy a physical game, that new game that's going to come out for the kid to see their kid happy on Christmas or their birthday, whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
right? And if everything goes all digital, that's taken away.
That's
So,
true. How are you gonna show the kid you got him the game? You're gonna give him the digital card?
you're right. And like,
Here, I,
Yes.
I loaded your PlayStation 7 with a bunch of games. You know,
That's another thing too, though. Let's say some of those games get delisted. Those kids are gonna be heartbroken.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it goes
it's,
back to our main point.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full circle.
Oh,
It's a
my uncle
circle.
used to burn discs for me for games all the time. You know,
Yeah,
like I don't remember its name, but it was
I learned to do that with the Wii. I learned how to do that with the Wii.
it was a like a racing game that where you raced RC cars, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
But
Oh, I
I don't,
remember that game.
yeah, and I cannot remember what it was called.
Oh my God, I know what you were talking
And
about
yeah, it
too.
was like very early
RC Pro Am?
2000s.
No.
No, it wasn't
No, it
RC
wasn't
Pro Am.
that. But like
It was
you would have
dope.
like actual crashes and they would like explode and catch fire,
Yeah, it
right?
was fucking dope. Yeah, it
It
was
was
really
fun.
fucking cool.
And then you had like different tracks and you can actually
Yeah,
build your own track.
you race through a backyard and shit.
Oh,
Like
I
that shit was
remember
so
that
much
one.
fun.
Yes, I remember
And
that.
I played the fuck out of that game. So like I
Damn,
get it,
that's hella old
And
school
my
right
uncle was just
there.
like, "Yeah, here you go." He burned so many
Yeah,
discs, and that's like it was either that or it was every episode of Futurama,
yeah.
or it was just a bunch of shit. Like it was so much fun.
Mhm.
Family crime.
I
Togetherness.
don't know what you're
Bringing
talking
us
about.
closer together
I don't know what you're talking about.
through
Yeah.
crime.
I have one last thing to add, and it's basically gonna be one other thing I think we'll also see are people are gonna start hoarding digital games to the point where if Sony delist them, they're gonna figure out a way to put those games up for sale for people to buy them again, and they can just copy the game and send it to that person.
That's a possibility.
They copy the game, they sell it to you, and they give you the code to download it.
So normally I try to think of a segue in between these, but this final talking point actually comes from one of our viewers. It's a user on TikTok called Krusty Dusty Games. Who's been that's his name.
I believe you.
Krusty with a K. Yeah, he reached out to me and talked to me and wanted to be part of an episode. And I was trying to try to get him on this one, but he's working right now. So, but for his
Shout out
contribution,
to you,
he was
Krusty.
shout out Krusty Dusty Games on
Yeah,
TikTok.
bro.
We played. You got me. The guy we played Doom with.
Yeah,
Oh
Ed was
yeah,
there,
yeah.
that guy is cool.
But he had asked, "How long will we have consoles in the digital age before PC reigns supreme?" Which I think is kind of interesting. Like I already said, I'm not going to do.
That's
We all
a
said
good
we're not
question.
doing PS6.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't, I don't think it won't take long for PC to reign supreme if everything goes digital, because Steam as a whole and Microsoft have proven they're the better choice for digital gaming.
It's not
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
you don't think it's gonna happen?
No, and I'll tell you in a
I
little
don't
bit,
think
but
it
finish
is.
your point. Finish your point.
But I mean, I'm not like it's very ex. I'm not a huge expert in like PCs or anything like that, but like from the track records of what I've
No,
seen
I mean, you're right so far, but I'll tell you why it's not
because
gonna happen.
like I'm going off base knowledge of like Microsoft and their digital store. You can get so much. Like you want to play fucking Morrowind? Go ahead, you're playing Morrowind. You want to
Yeah.
play
Mhm.
any game from the original Xbox? Go ahead, you're gonna play it. But that's what I mean. Like they're the better option for digital gaming. Does
Yeah, they really
PlayStation
are.
have a classic selection? Yes, but it's minimal.
Yeah,
It's not very good.
trash, dude. Like there's
It
games
used to be
I
way
want,
better.
but like
Used to be way better.
It
Sorry.
used to be, yeah. The PlayStation classics and the PS2 classics and all that.
And I think that's
Fantastic.
because
Yeah.
they partner with Ubisoft, get Ubisoft classics, but it's like not very good. It's all fucking Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Like
Or
and the
freaking
Division.
Katamari. It's Katamari,
yeah.
guys.
There's Guitar Man now.
Oh my God. Nice.
Yeah, I
But
want that game, but I'm not gonna pay $10.
And
Which is the game with the Sack Boys? That's all you see there.
Little Big Planet.
right.
Yeah, Little
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Planet. It's nothing but Little Big Planet on that.
And
Yeah,
then
for real.
Also speaking of Steam, like there's a shit ton of things you can get on Steam
And cheap too.
and real cheap.
Yeah.
Like
Steam sales are
super
insane.
cheap. And like if you think of it, you more than likely can get it on Steam.
Yeah.
So, that's like I think Sony as a whole, in order to compete in this, they need to beef up their library, have better business practices where the consumer won't get fucked over, and
Yeah.
and really make it worth the consumers, make it worth their while. Because yes, at this point in time, people will put up with it, take it up the tailpipe, all that other stuff. Fall back.
Take it up that tailpipe.
And all that other stuff. But at some point, something's gonna give, and People
The
are
bubble's
gonna
gonna burst.
the bubble's gonna burst. And people are gonna go elsewhere.
Yeah,
We've
just like
seen
the
this.
housing market.
Yeah, we've seen this happen again and again and again in
Yeah,
other industries.
the auto industry went through it as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every
And
big conglomerate think they're above the bubble bursting. They're not. They
No.
just
it's
haven't
just
experienced it yet.
yeah,
Sony hasn't
it's
experienced it
just
yet. They're gonna experience it.
yeah, like something always gives.
hmm hmm You can only push something or someone so far before they snap. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
But let me tell you why PC won't take over, Matt. And it's actually sad because even though it is the better option, unfortunately, I am a PC guy now. Thanks to AI, a mid-tier PC, and I'm talking about mid-tier, something that can play God of War at 1080, and I'm saying 1080, not 4K. It's gonna cost roughly $1,300.
Yep.
If I wanted to add RAM to my PC right now, it's gonna cost me $80, and that's
So
the
it's
cheapest component.
expensive.
It is expensive to the point where unless you're super rich or a celebrity, you're not going to be able to get a decent PC to run PS5 or PS6
No,
games or
you're
AAA
not.
titles now.
Mm.
On top of that, since Sony is so hard holding onto their exclusives, unless you're willing to pirate the game, you're not going to be able to play those exclusives on PC.
Right.
And lastly, because of AI, every component out there right now is being manufactured just for that. So it's gotten to the point where they don't even care about the consumer. Even the graphics card GeForce, I forget their name. They straight up said like,
NVIDIA.
"Oh, we're focusing all our efforts on AI. We're not worried about the consumer. We're not selling to the consumer right now." So even if you want to even if you're willing to buy a graphics card right now for $1,200, which is around how much some of the top tier ones go, they're not available. They're not there because they're using that for the AI farms, for the AI server farms. So unfortunately, that's not gonna cripple PC, but it's gonna hinder them from becoming the conglomerate that they
No
could be.
sneezies. Oh.
And on top of that, only 25% of the population plays PC. Console is still dominant in that market.
Don't let my
So
brother
that's
hear you say that.
so that's my take. No, PC is still better. I'm not gonna deny that it is a better option. Now that I do own one and I experienced all the freedom I have with it, it is a better option. But it's a lucrative option. Only the people who are very rich or well off are gonna be able to own a good PC.
Yeah, my 40s my laptop right now has a 4070 in it. It's very fast. It's very good. It's a very good laptop. I love this thing. There are games that I will still prefer to play on my PC or on my PS5
Yeah,
because
let me
I
hear
don't
what
think that this can handle a lot.
No, I can't. Let's
I
see
have
what
like
Maz.
I have a couple things. One is my question of what about there's those companies now that are starting to take place where they build a PC for you, and
Yeah.
also for like you don't. I don't know if people know this or not, but you don't need 4K, especially if you that resolution, that type of resolution for for viewing anything is based on distance. How far back? How big's your TV, and B, how far back are you away from that, from your television or your monitor, of where you're going to really get the full effect of the image that you're seeing. Because if you're like real close to something that's 4K, it's not going to look very good.
Yeah.
You're not really because
Yeah,
our eyes only render
60 frames a second.
Yeah,
60 frames a
that's why
second.
games are 60 frames because our eyes are only capable of rendering that.
So everything over that
is
is into
pointless.
It
is
looks weird.
unnecessary. Yeah,
It
it's
looks weird in your
unnecessary.
eyes. That's why it
Yeah,
looks weird in your eyes. Kind of like how
yeah,
soap operas used to look.
Mm-hmm.
Because as crazy as it sounds, they used to run their shows on 120 frames.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So,
Yeah.
but also like if you're going watching like I said, 4K, 1080 or whatever, it's all based on distance and like the size of the screen that you're viewing it on, in order for it to actually look good. So
yeah,
that's why I say if people are smart and instead of getting all the high end stuff, you can opt out for a decent PC that's going to be cheaper and still have access to all these fucking games and stuff. And going back to my question is, those companies. What about them? They're building PCs for people when
Yeah,
that's a better price option.
It is
I
and
got
it isn't because you're paying again for convenience.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's
So they're
not
going to
as
So
mark
cheap
it
I
up a
as
little
yeah.
bit.
well, I
Mhm.
kind of feel it like I buy a car and trusting that they built the car to
Mhm.
to work properly. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know much about PCs or how to build one. I'm trusting these people to build one for me
Yeah,
and
sure.
it to work.
I
But
gotta
they're
worry.
they're also they're also going to build it with based on some factors.
yeah,
It's like what you want to pay for.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So it's like you can build a decent PC, say for $1,000, just for
yeah,
a number.
Right.
But it's probably not going to have the 4090,
yeah,
the graphics card. They're going to like use cheaper things. But if you're going to
yeah.
pay 5 grand, again, just using a number, you're going to get all the better shit, and they'll build it, and like they can install games for you that you're going to play. So
Hmm.
it comes installed with all the shit. They're going to set everything up for you, no matter what. They will do that, but you're going to have to pay more for the better shit.
Yeah,
Not
Okay.
necessarily more than the cost of the product, because however much a 4090 costs, I don't know,
yeah,
but you're going to pay for that, and then you're going to pay them to build it for you.
So let me
exactly.
see if I'm summarizing this
Okay.
correctly. I'm going to try to dumb
Okay.
this down to as few word as possible.
Okay.
PC will not take over console gaming because of what AI is doing to the market for RAM and how expensive PCs are, and they're basically sucking the life out of the planet, Final Fantasy VII style, with data
Yep.
Yeah,
farms, and
basically, yeah,
and because of that, console gaming will be way too expensive. So, I mean, PC gaming, excuse me, will be way too expensive. So that's because of their own foolishness.
not so much
Yeah.
their own foolishness. Again, it comes down to corporate greed. AI is
Yeah.
dominant right now, but there is going to eventually be a crash where it's no longer needed as much, or they find an efficient way to have it and it doesn't cost as much, just like we did with Bitcoin. It was a craze. It's more efficient now. You can still get it. It's still a lucrative way of making money. It's easier now and it's cheaper now.
Yeah.
Same thing with AI. We're gonna get to that pinnacle where it's gonna be more efficient, easier to do, cheaper to do.
Yeah. Just
That
like
will
everything
drop
else.
down. That will drop down the price of components. That's not gonna happen anytime soon. 5, 10 years, maybe, if we're lucky. They have superconductors now that can process information faster than even your own synapses can do it. So that in and alone shines the light that it is going to eventually plateau and come back down. Not anytime soon though. Matt, to go back to your pre-built PC on average runs about $1,000, and that's the mid to lower end ones. They only run on 720 to 1080. Mine is a mid tier which runs only at 1080. I can push it at 4K, but
Right.
it will either cause damage or it will overheat or will crash or whatever. The more expensive PCs run up to $5,000. RAM and the graphics card alone make up about 80% of that.
Damn.
So that's the
Yeah.
that's the reality of it, unfortunately.
It's too much.
It is too much, and it is gonna be to a point where, like I said, only the well-off or the rich or celebrities. Henry Cavill spent 2,300 on his PC,
Yep.
and his is a mid-tier PC.
Sure
He has
is.
a PC that only runs at 1080, 4K. He can push it to 4K as well. He has a 450 on his. The
Hmm.
latest
He's
graphics card is a five something, I think.
Well, now we all know what he
Damn.
spent his Superman money on.
Yeah.
what
Well,
are you talking about? That's
He already
nothing
had it. He already had it.
yeah,
before
560. The RTX 550 is the highest
the
end tier.
5500.
Yeah, is the highest
Okay.
in tier one right now, and that goes for about $1,000 by itself.
But
Yeah.
All right.
uh,
Well, I think we need to
I have
wrap this up.
Yeah.
one last question. What if what if
Okay.
this was a crazy ploy that Sony is doing to drive up sales of
Classic
PS4 and
Coke.
PS5?
Classic
Yeah.
Coke, yeah.
They're
It
classic
is
Coke
classic
because
Coke.
son of a
What?
bitch. I would get the PS6 if they did that.
I
Yeah, I would.
I would hate
Like-
them,
I'd be
but
like, you son of a bitch.
you got us. You got us. If
You
anything,
son of
the
a
one
bitch,
who's
I'm in.
Yeah.
if anything, the one who's been profiting most of this is Nintendo. Because
Hell
after
yeah.
the
Yeah.
announcement, apparently the Nintendo Switch 2 sales went up. not the Nintendo Switch.
It's
the
a me,
two cells.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Well,
Nintendo
well-
just said like, "Oh, Sony, oh, that's nice what you're doing. Okay, you screwed us over one time. You're screwing yourself now."
Mhm.
But anyway, thank you all for listening. Be excellent to each other. Ed, say something. Bring us home, Ed.
Um,
Oh, no pressure.
Invest in silicone
No,
chip
no,
stocks.
no. They make
Yeah,
fake
That
yeah,
is
titties.
gonna go up.
Yeah,
That is
fake
gonna go up.
boobies.
You
Silicone's
don't
what's
want
in
more
fake
big
boobies.
titties?
Not
You want more
silicone
big
boobies.
titties?
It's not like a silicone
I
chip
don't want-
stock. Invest
I
in
don't want
that.
more lies.
That's going in there now.
Silicone's what's in fake boobies, Ed. You're being ridiculous. This is a video
Or
game.
better yet, hoard your gaming libraries. Buy more PS4 and PS5 games. Buy them
can get
as
it.
fast as you can.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
definitely.
again, be excellent to each other. Thank you all for listening. Everybody say bye. It's so fucking hot in here. Say bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios, amigos.